Good day and welcome to the second edition of FHA Match for this year. It's been only a few weeks since we welcomed you to FHA F&B for our long-awaited in-person trade show, and what a thrill it has been. We saw 57,000 of you roaming the halls over the 4 days and enjoyed the buzz of a real-life event again. But this was 3 weeks ago. Now we're looking ahead to FHA HoReCa at the end of October already. But before we open the doors to showcase you the latest in food service, bakery, pastry and gelato, hospitality style, hospitality tech, specialty food and tea, or any other of the related fields, we are delighted to see you on our digital networking platform today. One topic that is on everyone's mind since COVID is a labor shortage. Also here we are experiencing our labor crunch moment, and this is why I thought I'd get myself some help for today. Please meet my co-host of FHA Match Edition at HoReCa, Anna.
Hi everyone. Great to see you here. I'm Anna. I'm an AI avatar created entirely by artificial intelligence. I will be helping Carl today to host FHA Match and tell you more about what we have planned for our digital networking day. As you are aware, the hospitality industry has gone through dramatic changes and continues to innovate. Today, we want to highlight just some of the trends and developments for an industry we all love. FHA Match serves as a prelude to this year's physical trade show on 25th to 28th of October at Singapore Expo. Today's webinars will shed light on trends and insights. Our community platform will help you connect with like-minded business contacts, and you will be able to set up your agenda for the physical show in October. Moreover, you can already start sourcing from leading suppliers from today. We hope FHA Match will help you make meaningful connections ahead of time so that during the trade show you can focus on business. Follow our content sessions and showcases or join private one-on-one video calls with buyers and industry leaders from food service, hospitality, retail, wholesale, and distribution. Reach your individual objectives with FHA Match. Glad you asked, Carl. I can't wait to tell you. We start with a short video showcase by Bear Robotics, which develops solutions for restaurants that grapple with labor shortages. You will be able to meet the vendor also at our Hospitality 4.0 feature zone at the physical trade show. This is followed by an intelligence session by Global Data. The webinar will look at winners and losers in food service, strategies for brands to thrive and survive. Furthermore, we look at a new phenomenon in hospitality, NFTs or non-fungible tokens. Our webinar will focus on basics, business, and new beginnings to help you understand opportunities to improve your brand, generate revenue, and deliver services. Our final webinar is provided by the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, which looks at real-world case studies from American Airlines, JFK International Airport, Hyatt Hotels, or NBA teams on how to minimize the spread of infectious diseases through sustainable, efficient, and cost-effective solutions. Before we start, just some housekeeping matters. During the live stream and on-demand webinars, we encourage you to send in your questions directly to the speakers, as they would be able to revert to you via message. We will not run any live Q&As today. Should you miss a conversation, meeting, or any content session, the platform will still be open for until the trade show in October. This said, the best participants to learn from are actually our FHA exhibitors, so we invite you to proactively network with them from today. Happy mingling, everyone.
Giving your guests the best experience possible is your top priority. What if your staff always had a helping hand when they needed it, to make the busy work easier? Now there's Servi. Program as many destinations as you need, and Servi will get there every time. Servi can navigate the tightest spots and unexpected obstacles. Your staff gets what they need faster without multiple trips, and they work well together. Let Servi take on the heavy lifting while they do the important work. Servi is the help they need so your team can work smarter, not harder, and have more time to take care of the important things.
Happy birthday!
Because it's the little things that can make all the difference.
Our first webinar is by Tim Hill, Key Accounts Director for Global Data. He is drawing on research on consumer and food service intelligence to show the new consumer landscape in APAC. Tim outlines a detailed food service market forecast and 8 winning strategies for food service brands. Enjoy this exclusive presentation to learn about the following: mapping the strategic direction of food service, new demographic landscape and differences in consumer preferences, food service market forecast APAC, meeting the demand for digital convenience in food service, innovative brands that reach new consumers through novel, experiential, and premium offerings. We hope you enjoy this insightful analysis by Global Data.
So I'm Tim Hill with Global Data, and I'm going to be talking about strategies to thrive and survive in Asia's food service sector. So we're going to be talking about the new consumer landscape and then the road to recovery with our forecast for the global food service markets. And then we're going to do the consumer insights, and we're going to look at how food service brands can win in the new landscape. And we're going to be sharing 8 key strategies for this. So first off, the new consumer landscape. It has, of course, as with any seismic event like COVID, it's changed permanently. Areas, for instance, like consumers now deciding that it's a cool thing to be able to book or order online. The working from home phenomenon, which has completely changed the food service markets, of course. And then as a result, the consumers that are starting to cook more from home using meal kits. And of course, it wasn't just COVID that has changed things, but it's within the recovery phase of COVID, the different phases in which the countries are recovering or haven't recovered, perhaps in the case of China. And then, of course, the impact of inflation on the economies as well. So all this has meant a very changed scenario. The consumer landscape is way more complex than before the pandemic. When we looked at 2018, we compare it with 2022 with our quarterly surveys. We see that when we ask people what would be some of your motivations for purchasing a product or service, health and wellness is now joint number 1 with easy and affordability. The lower ranks are still pretty much the same, although I think that consumers perhaps underestimate digitalization, probably because they're getting so used to it now in the massive changes that have happened during the pandemic. Everyone's quite used to using their smartphones for pretty much everything now. We have seen a reduction in consumer concerns over the last 2 years. So factors that people were extremely concerned about seem to be reducing. The one different one, the one exception for that, of course, is a personal financial situation. More of that in a moment. But people do seem to be much less concerned now than they were last year and certainly the year before. The key issues, of course, are changing, causing major changes in the market dynamics. So the hybrid lifestyle, the at work, and the work at home, of course, is changing the future of dining out. And that's why we're seeing the compound annual growth rate. We're seeing pubs, clubs, and bars with some of the largest compound annual growth rate. But of course, a quick service restaurant, as you can see by the size of the bubble, and the full service restaurant are the mainstays of the food service sector. But also we see travel, accommodation, and leisure achieving one of the biggest compound annual growth rates as countries start to emerge from their lockdown and from their travel restrictions. So let's have a look at global food service market forecasts. So for the profit operators, because we track both the profit operator and the cost operator. The cost operator being areas like the armed forces or hospitals or school canteens and so on. But the profit operator market, we see a return to pre-pandemic levels by 2023. And I say hopefully because, of course, it depends on the continued trajectory of our pandemic recovery. The transactions, and here we've got the profit operator on the top in the black line and underneath the cost operators that I described just a moment ago. We see the cost operators perhaps being impacted by the hybrid format of the workforce. The cost operators a bit of a jump up in 2021, a bit of slowed growth we saw in 2022 caused by inflation concerns, and then slower growth after that to 2023, 4 and 5. And the different channels are going to recover at different rates. So we see obviously the quick service restaurant factor, getting to 2019 values by 2022 for both food on the right of this slide and then drinks on the left. We see 2023 was when the full service restaurants and the ice cream parlors and the coffee and tea shops, that's when we expect those outlets to actually regain their 2019 values. And then the pubs, clubs and bars and the travel and leisure, that's TAL, the mobile operators in the workplace, not achieving 2019 levels until 2024 for both drinks on the left and food on the right there. Within looking at this globally, we see Asia Pacific is one of the largest, by the size of the bubble, the largest regions for the value of the food service sector, and the percentage change in the number of outlets for year on year is large for Asia. But when it comes to the compound annual growth rate, it's Latin America, which is rebounding at the fastest rate. And looking at Asia, how it stacks up against the rest of the world in terms of what we've got is the channel value by 2026 compared with 2021. We see the full service restaurants, substantial growth there, followed then by the quick service restaurants, followed by travel, accommodation and leisure, and then pubs, clubs and bars. And we can see how those numbers stack up against the rest of the world, with the full service restaurants in Asia being really just leading the rest of the world. It seems to be actually more than the rest of the world combined for the difference in the 2026 versus 2021 channel value. And then this shows the gradual tapering away of the growth by dine-in versus takeaway, collection or takeaway delivery, by value, by transactions, and then the value per transaction for in orange 2021, in dark green 2022, and then in 2023 as people start to adjust back to the new normal. So let's have a look now at how food service brands can win in the new landscape. And what we're going to do now is we're going to look at our 8 guide points or our 8 strategies. So a winning strategy number 1 is affordability. Restaurants that offer good value for money, competitive pricing, or they have loyalty rewards or are seen to be value providers are going to do well in this environment. In our most recent survey that just came out in Q3 2022, just in earlier September, we asked, how concerned are you about your personal financial situation? And we saw it was popped back up 62%. So people are much more concerned now about their finances with inflation. 37% of global consumers say that they're influenced by the range of affordable or lower price items when they're choosing items in a restaurant or they're choosing a restaurant. And 32% find value for money appealing when they're consuming food and drinks outside the home. How does this, this is one of our global winning strategies, how does this map onto the Asia Pacific and the ASEAN markets? Well, we find that ASEAN consumers are much more concerned than the rest of Asia, and mostly more concerned actually than where it says total at the bottom, that means the global respondents, about the impact of inflation on the household budget. The one exception to that, curious enough, is Indonesia, where although there are still high levels of concern, about 43 or 44%, it's not as strong as the rest of the ASEAN neighbors about this inflation concern. We'll have to track that and see what happens in 3 months' time as we ask these questions, the same questions every quarter. And we asked whether people were eating out more or less at restaurants. And we found that ASEAN consumers generally with a particular spike for the Philippines and Indonesia. Over 60% respondents say they are eating out less at restaurants. So the concern here is, of course, that it's a smaller market caused by the emergence from the pandemic, caused by concerns over inflation, concerns over household budgets that we have to contend with in the ASEAN region. So let's have a look at the strategy number 2, which is to digitalize and automate. So pretty much everybody, almost everybody that we asked about the ordering of takeaway or delivery said that they had increased doing that during the pandemic. Everyone got used to ordering takeaway during the pandemic. They got used to the apps. They got used to people bringing stuff to their house. And you can see the example here of Chipotle and the digital kitchen here set up so that it can just do takeaway delivery. Chipotle, of course, is one of the key players in this market. 46% of global consumers spending more time online, and 20% say that one of the most influential aspects deciding which restaurant to visit is the availability to book or order online. And we're noticing actually the trend, certainly in Singapore, where restaurants are now demanding a down payment when you book online, so that to encourage people to honor their booking as well. So how does this play out in the APAC region? Well, the APAC consumers, more likely than where it says total, which is the rest of the world, to be influenced by how digitally advanced or smart the products or services. But we see particular fondness for this in the ASEAN region, perhaps with the exception of Singapore, where it's perhaps a little bit old hat. But if you look at the Vietnam scores, where the combined score is 70%, and the Philippines, where the combined score is over 70%, and Indonesia, where it's about 64%, are saying that yes, they are influenced by how digitally advanced or smart the product or service, and hence the food service outlet is. The third strategy that we've identified, to be present in consumers' homes. So the graph there was when we asked people during the course of the pandemic, the likelihood of what sort of mix you like to be in the office, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or only when management asks, and so on. But clearly the hybrid version, where people are returning partially to the office, is with us to stay. Not that many organizations where everyone is full-time back in the office, and where it's expected that they will all be always back in the office full-time. So that means that people are going to obviously be eating out less. And then we see the examples here with presse à manger, with the granola mix, which you can consume at home, and then Auntie Annie's the bake at home pretzel kit. So the strategy is for food service operators to have something that can be a takeaway, that can be cooked at home, because consumers are starting or they're more frequently using cook from home meal kits. Let's have a look at how this plays out in the Asia Pacific region. Asia Pacific, similar to the rest of the world, but it's high proportions of it. People who say they've started doing this or continue to do this or do this more frequently, it's pretty high. And in the Asia Pacific region, again, in the ASEAN region, it's as popular as it is in the rest of the world. In some cases, like Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, even more so. So it seems that pretty much everyone is going into cooking now in a way that they were not doing up to 2019. The fourth winning strategy, to premiumize the workplace proposition, because the workplace is going to be a more significant food service occasion, because people are not going there at the same rate that they were before. So one of the strategies is that perhaps with a lower frequency, food service operators can look to provide more premium options or more convenient options. So in the bottom right, the operator there called Good Monday is offering beverages brought to the office, and that could be coffees for a coffee meeting, or it could be cocktails for evening drinks as well. Whatever the drinks are, Good Monday will bring it to the office. So they're making it's unique, it's premiumized, and it's also a fun experience. For ASEAN consumers and APAC consumers, ASEAN definitely often influences my product choice. You can see Vietnam, Thailand, even Singapore is more enthusiastic about this than the rest of the world. Philippines, Malaysia a little bit less so, but Indonesia saying, yeah, yes, they are influenced by how well the product or service aligns with their time and money constraints. The fifth strategy that we recommend to food service operators is to prioritize hygiene, health, as well as the convenience that we've just looked at. So we look at which of the following features do you actively look for when making a purchase. If you look at the very top of the graph there, that hygienic is far and away the winner. Plus also health as well. So in the bottom right of this page, where it says 38% of consumers globally are actively trying or claim they're actively trying to reduce sugar consumption. 32% are trying to do the same for salt. And it's the same in the Asia Pacific region as well. But what's interesting about the Asia Pacific region is that people in Asia, and certainly people in ASEAN, are way more concerned about how hygienic the product is than their counterparts in the rest of the world. If you look at Indonesia's response there, 80% of Indonesians say that how hygienic the product is essential to them. So hygiene is particularly important for this part of the world. The sixth winning strategy, to offer familiarity and reassurance. That could be nostalgia, it could be the ambience or the experience. Giving people a nice, familiar environment, something where they've got the range of cuisines that they want, they've got healthy and nutritious menu options. It's appealing to perhaps their culture as well. So again, for the Asia Pacific region, Asia Pacific almost identical to the rest of the world, but the ASEAN region, we see out players like so the Indonesian consumers, and also the Thai and the Vietnam consumers. So they are often influenced by how familiar, trustworthy, risk-free the product is. And then there's a high proportion of them. In the Philippines, it's 45% say it always influences their product choice. The seventh winning strategy, to offer consumers a real night off, give them something that's fun, that's memorable, that, and particularly in this part of the world, that they will share on social media to encourage others to come out and have the same experience. So looking at some of our consumer survey data on this, 45% find that the convenience aspect of eating food or drinks outside the home is good, is appealing to them. A third like the idea of food and drinks which are difficult to recreate at home. So it's a bit of a unique experience to go out and to have something that you wouldn't necessarily make at home. 39% say they like restaurant ambience and the experience when deciding the restaurants to visit. And 52% agree that they like to experiment with different cuisines as well when they're out of home. And actually within the Asia Pacific region, they particularly like the different cuisines from the market stalls and the HoReCa centers, as we found. But how enjoyable or unique the products or services is a real winner for certainly for the ASEAN region. Asia Pacific region is pretty much identical with the rest of the world here, but we can see Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam in particular say it often influences the product choice. And for the Philippines, it's nearly 35% say it always influences the product choice, being how enjoyable or how unique the products or services that they are consuming. So the eighth and the final strategy that we recommend is to be on top of your ESG agenda, the environmental, social, and governance agenda. And that could be the sustainability aspect. So the top left graph is consumers who agree that encouraging people to bring their own reusable cup or bottle will make coffee shops more sustainable. And the younger age group seem quite enthusiastic, particularly enthusiastic about that, which is great. We see a bit of a split by generation in the bottom right as well, with the global consumers' decision on restaurants are influenced by menu options to include locally sourced and fresh produce. And we see a number of outlets are setting up with locally sourced, even produce like Kamala restaurant in Singapore, where it's actually grown in the garden within the restaurant's ground on the top of a skyscraper. When it comes to ESG, though, ASEAN consumers and APAC, I think, are particularly supportive of environmental causes. That's a clear winner. So if your brand supports environmental causes, which is in orange here, then you're going to get a support of most ASEAN consumers here. No one is really going to take offense at that, at least. Climate change, people not quite so enthusiastic about climate change compared to environmental protection, but similarly reasonable levels of support for that, more so actually than consumers in the rest of the world. But when it comes to topical social causes, that's the S in the ESG, it's a bit more of a mixed bag response. So the ASEAN respondents aren't uniformly so enthusiastic about some of the topical social causes like sexual orientation equality, e.g. same-sex marriage or LGBTQIA, or they're interested in racial equality or the gender equality. They're not quite so enthusiastic about it as people are in Asia Pacific and also in the rest of the world. So this is an area where you need to pick it with a little bit more discretion if you're going to be supporting social causes. Okay, so these were the 8 food service strategies. We think that most food service operators, I suppose, most food services, I think, could actually offer pretty much all of these 8 strategies within their mix, or a mix of them, to make it so what we're talking about then is making it memorable, affordable, enjoyable, convenient night out for Asia Pacific consumers. And with that, if you wanted a copy of my presentation, feel free to email me there and I'm happy to send you the deck. And then I will hand back now to the floor. Thank you.
If Nike can sell a pair of virtual shoes for $186,000, what would people pay for an NFT that grants them exclusive digital and physical perks at your hotel or restaurant? Our next session by Geert Root from Sale is hoping to give you more insights on the new phenomenon in hospitality: NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible tokens, or digital assets that cannot be replicated, open up many possibilities in a wide range of industries, including hospitality. But how exactly can you use them in your hospitality business? Our next session is to look at what NFTs are. The webinar is to give practical examples on how they can be used in a hospitality context. We hope the session proves interesting to you.
My name is Geert Root. I'm CEO of Sale. And today we're going to talk about NFTs, what they can mean for hospitality, what they can do for creating better connection with your customers. As a platform, as a customer retention and loyalty platform, Sale helps restaurants and hotels to better understand their customers, to better connect with their customers, and to improve the relationship between you and your current and future customers. With regard to the NFT, let's go to our presentation that we prepared, whereby we will show you all the use cases and what you can do in concrete with in terms of NFTs. This is your host of today, and if you have any questions, just send them in the digital platform. Let's just start with the basics. What are NFTs? And NFTs, maybe you figured that out. It's non-fungible tokens, but what are non-fungible tokens? Non-fungible tokens are basically digital assets that live on the blockchain. And these non-fungible tokens, in comparison with like Bitcoin that you maybe heard of Ethereum. So Bitcoin, it's a coin, it's a fungible token. So if I have a Bitcoin and you have a Bitcoin, we can simply exchange. It has the same value. A non-fungible token is unique. If I have an NFT and you have an NFT, if we would exchange, then that would simply mean that I would have something else now. I would have a different value, and the other person would also have a different value. NFTs, people also explain them as a visual layer to the blockchain, because if you're talking about crypto and digital assets living on a blockchain, that's very technical, that's very geeky, while NFTs, they make things more visible because you can link a visual asset, such as an image, towards an NFT. So it makes it things visual and very more comprehensible. Since NFTs are very popular and there's obviously a hype around NFTs, it deserves some attention. What are the types of NFTs? And if we look through the hype towards, okay, what is below those NFTs, we can make a distinction between three types of NFTs. There's one, emotional value. And I'm sure that if you have looked into NFTs, probably you have bumped onto these bored apes, which you see here on the presentation, maybe CryptoPunks, etc. So there are a number of emotional value NFTs, and typically, the value is driven by emotion. So it's about fear of missing out, it's about ego, it's about scarcity. So they can be very expensive, they can be very non-expensive. It's just an emotion. It's like buying a painting. For some, it's worth $1 million. For some else, it's like worth $5. The second type of NFT is identity value. And basically, it's a kind of asset, a token living on a blockchain where you have access to via a wallet. And if you use that wallet in a context of you need to prove who you are, then you can use it as a passport. And that's really the identity value. The third is functional value. What can you really do in a real world utility, in a real world context, like a restaurant, like a hotel? You can use NFTs to receive utility, for example, in a loyalty context, whereby if you own the NFT, you are entitled to receive some perks, some benefits. Imagine in a hotel setting, like free access to the hotel spa, or in a restaurant context where you receive like a 10% discount during your online ordering. So that is functional value. Be the fact that you have NFTs, that's all nice and well and blockchain, but why would I need NFTs for my business? That's the most crucial question, in fact, to answer. If you look to the business benefits that NFTs can bring to your business, your restaurant chain, your hotel, then first it's the stronger brand, because NFTs and more in general Web3 is all about community and community building. And when we started this presentation, we talked about creating a connection between your business and your customers, that relationship. NFTs is really the visual representation of that relationship between your brand, your restaurant, your hotel, and your community, your fan base. The second benefit is the loyalty that it brings, and how agile that loyalty is. Meaning the NFT that lives on the wallet of the consumer, you don't need to have an app in place. You don't need to spend money on updates to the iPhone version, the Android version. If you even don't use an app and you're still relying on like physical vouchers or plastic membership cards, that's all not needed, because the consumer, he has on his mobile a wallet that can be inside his browser. It could be a specific app, and that wallet has several NFTs, not only your NFT but also different NFTs. But the fact is, he has that NFT, and you can define all kinds of new perks, new benefits for a certain time, or maybe you want to limit the number of usage of the NFT perk. But it's very agile, and whenever you change or you create new perks, new benefits, that can be shown within the wallet of the customer. So you have a very agile loyalty at a fraction of the cost that you have with your current loyalty solutions. And the third benefit is the fact that your customers that own the NFT, they can decide themselves what they do with that NFT. And for example, they could say, look, I'm going to resell the NFT to someone else and receive some money for it. Maybe they saved 1,000 points on that and linked to that NFT. They sell it. You, as a brand, you can define that, and every single time this NFT is being resold, that a part of that price that flows into your pockets. So that could be a third reason to start with NFTs in your loyalty programs. If we go to the use cases, we have a number of use cases lined up for you. And the first one is the Fly Fish restaurant by Gary Vee. And for those that do not know Gary Vee, this is a very famous US-based marketeer. He was one of the first investors in Facebook. And he's still very much on the edge in everything that is like Web3. And for example, last year he created the Fly Fish restaurant, whereby people could become a member of the Fly Fish restaurant by purchasing an NFT for the price of 2.5 ETH. At that time, that was more than $7,000. Now, Gary Vee, as a celebrity in marketing in the US, he managed to sell more than 2,600. He managed to sell more than 1,000 NFTs, which basically brought him a revenue of more than $10 million. He didn't sell the whole collection, but more than 1,000 for the price of $7,757 is quite an achievement. Chef T Pizzas has also done the same, so selling NFTs in return for a certain value. Here, the value was $200, so way lower. They did more NFTs, and it did sold out, and $500,000 flown to the pizza restaurant. And when you own the NFT, you receive access to virtual events they organize, master classes that they organize, and they have like a VIP web shop that you can access if you own the NFT. The third use case is in hotels, whereby Ken Patel is owning a growing hotel chain, which is called the EV Hotel Group. And for them, NFTs are also part of their branding, their positioning strategy, whereby they use NFT to be really forward-thinking and shown to their customers like, hey, we are very innovative. If we come to our hotel, you will be part of that innovative group. And in terms of perks that the EV Hotel Group delivers, they are specifically forwarded towards NFT rewards. The fourth use case is Starbucks, and Starbucks doesn't need any introduction. Starbucks has in Web 2, so in current world, a very popular loyalty program. The app is used a lot, and really millions of customers are using this on a global scale. But Starbucks knows that their customers are evolving too. They have a lot of Gen Z customers. They have already Generation Alpha customers, and they expect from Starbucks to reinvent themselves in terms of loyalty. And if you compare the current loyalty program, which is basically an app which gives a lot of experiences, towards where they want to go to, a Web3 based solution, the biggest difference is that it becomes, instead of a closed ecosystem, it becomes an open ecosystem whereby out-of-house loyalty collaborations will be much more easier thanks to the use of Web3 and NFTs. The fifth use case is about Applebee's. Applebee's Grill and Bar restaurant. They defined a collection of NFT art based on their iconic menu items. So they approached different artists who created this specific NFT art. And then they have sold that last year, 2021. When you own the NFT, you are entitled to receive that meal for free during a whole year. The sixth use case is about Taco Bell, again, a well-known name. They sold their NFT for a certain price. Basically, if you bought the NFT, the real world perk, the real world benefit that you got was the $500 gift card. Now, all the revenue that they got from selling those NFTs and also the royalties they get when the NFTs are being resold, they pledge that to their Taco Bell Foundation. So it helps students and their scholarship. So you can really think about NFTs. It could be just a revenue stream for your business, but you could also put it in a bigger scheme whereby you say, okay, we as a business, we want to do good causes, and every year we do some certain actions in terms of that good causes. Now, NFTs, all the profit that this brings, this attributes to the good cause. So it gives good PR, you're novel, you're innovative, you're doing good causes. It's all creating about a good well-being story. The seventh use case is really about in-restaurant or in-hotel perks and collaborations that you do. For example, you could collaborate with a certain F&B brand, whereby you give the owners of your NFT a certain perk, like come to our restaurant and you'll receive a free champagne bottle of a certain brand. So this is rather circling around giveaways, but obviously smart giveaways, whereby the consumer, which is the NFT owner, is happy because he gets something for free. The brand is happy because they come on top of mind, and you are happy because you attract customers again to your restaurant or your hotel, and you really also get a better relationship with the F&B brand, and maybe some commercial deals can flow from that. The eighth use case is about online discounts. So if you really want to push more transactions and more purchases online, then you could think about, okay, all the people that own my NFT, they get a discount. They get like a 10% discount or 20% discount when ordering 4 takeaway or delivery or meeting or ordering in the hotel room or at the table when they're sitting in your restaurant. So that's another driver for your customers, your NFT holders, to come back to your online ordering system and not go to competitor, because they know, okay, one, I have the NFT, so I am a fan, I'm a loyal customer. Two, this brand, they're great because they give me, they really reward me with online discounts. So they've got my trust, and I will keep ordering back and over again. So basically, we have different use cases that can be started right out of the box. If you think about putting NFT to use in your restaurant business, in your hotel business. So you could start with like a membership program. It's a loyalty program whereby you distribute NFTs towards your best customers, and you can define different perks and benefits to all the NFT owners. All those NFT owners are basically one giant membership program. Secondly, token gating, which is a bit a technical name, but token gating really is about restricting access to something, and that could be online. For example, you could create a VIP web page on your website, and you can gate that only people that have the NFT have access. But it could also be within the restaurant, whereby the consumer says, hey, I've got the NFT, and that your people within the restaurant or hotel, they know, okay, now we have access to a certain merchandising or certain dishes on the menu that should be unlocked because you are an NFT holder. And the third, the giveaways is also something that can really be started very easily, very out of the box, which I explained in one of the use cases. Now you saw that some of the use cases were about selling. So there's that at the one side you have loyalty programs and giving perks and benefits. On the other side we have these, I want to sell a collection of NFTs and make revenue from that. So it's also important to understand, okay, how can I sell my NFTs as a restaurant or hotel business? And then if you would look on the internet, you will find some popular NFT marketplaces like OpenSea, like Wearable. There's quite a lot of them, and it's important to understand what's the good thing about the marketplace, but also, okay, what are the drawbacks and how we solve that in our solution. Whereby in the marketplace, obviously, you get a lot of traffic. So if you create your NFT and put it available on a marketplace, you will be sitting next to a lot of other brands. But the good thing is, typically a marketplace will put a lot of effort to create traffic. So people will come to, for example, here in this case, OpenSea. They look around, search for exciting NFTs, and maybe they find your NFT and then buy them. So the drawbacks are obviously that it's the branding of the OpenSea, and it's not your own branding. The customer data, you will not have a view on that because that flows to OpenSea, and you need to pay OpenSea obviously a commission. Now, if you're using our solution, we provide out of the box a webshop solution where you can sell your NFT, and you can apply your own branding. You can define how the checkout should look like, what fields should be asked. It's pure configuration. You know who is buying, which is very important because you want to stay in touch with the customer. And the drawback is that you need to create your own traffic. So if you don't put effort into making it clear to your consumers that you have a web shop, nobody will visit it. So you need to really see the pro and cons of both solutions towards each other. To recap everything, there are 3 questions should ask yourself, so first, how do I want my brand to be perceived by my audience? Are you happy with the status quo? And maybe you already have a loyalty program and you're happy with that, and the world is not evolving, then okay, you can simply stay where you are. Or maybe you say, hey, we want to be really at the forefront. We want to position our brand as innovative. We know we have quite a younger generation of customers, and we want to be really on top of mind and come with something new to them. Secondly is, it's around conviction. It's about, do I really believe that NFT can be an excellent tool for ambassadorship? If you are not convinced that NFT could mean something, then it will simply not work. You have to have some conviction in that. And the third is, okay, do I want to create new revenue streams based on Web3? Because when people start to sell, you get royalties, and then that could be, if you're really taking a clever approach, it could really become significant over the advent of the next couple of years. So that was the last slide of this webinar. I hope it was clear and it was a good introduction towards NFTs. Again, if you have any questions on NFTs and how they fit in customer loyalty, if you want to sell NFTs, or if you still have some open elements on Web3, feel free to reach out via the digital platform, or you have my email address here in this slide. So do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you for your attention.
Now I want to give you a short overview of the Hotel Innovation Challenge Asia, or HICA as we call it. It is jointly organized by the Singapore Hotel Association and supported by Singapore Tourism Board, STB. The winner will be able to qualify for grants of up to 80% for their R&D costs and will receive a booth for the 2024 FHA HoReCa show. HICA 2022 is looking for Asia's next great hospitality solution. We want to find the best new entrepreneurs and companies for an industry that is seeking to optimize for reopening and address crucial problems in 5 key areas: service delivery, manpower, data analytics, but also sustainability, housekeeping. Over the last couple of months, we received a large amount of entrants. Our judges and the Singapore Hotel Innovation Committee have been busy to filter out the finalists that will be pitching at the trade show on October 25th. Before we announce the finalists, I want you to meet the 5 industry experts and judges. We are thrilled to have Ming Fei Wong, Chief Technology Officer from the Singapore Tourism Board; Nicholas Cox, founder of Velocity Ventures; Fabian Lindsay, Vice President and Head of Operations of Fraser's Hospitality; Jingong Tan, Country General Manager of the Fullerton Hotels and Resorts, and also Chu Han Wei, the President of the Hospitality Information Technology Association Singapore. These 5 industry leads, together with the audience, will decide on the winner during FHA HoReCa on October 25. The industry experts had been deliberating for months and came to the conclusion to extend an invitation to the following 8 companies to bring their solution to the show and compete for the win. Congratulations to Bisu, Evercom Singapore and Stacks, NoCross/Unifocus, Leader, Hort Green and Eco Technologies, Sigma 3 IT Services, Hospitality, Sparklehaze, Vouch Singapore. If you want to learn about their solution, watch out to our social media and meet them at the show in October. See you soon. Our final webinar is provided by the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, or GBAC. The Council has prepared a webinar for you which looks at real-world case studies from American Airlines, JFK International Airport, Hyatt Hotels, or NBA teams on how to minimize the spread of infectious diseases through sustainable, efficient, and cost-effective solutions. Cleaning for appearance is no longer sufficient. The public now understands that a surface can look and smell clean but still harbor infectious disease-causing germs. Facilities must adopt a cleaning for health approach to restore confidence, uphold brand reputation, and minimize the spread of infectious diseases by maintaining a safe and healthy indoor space. Dr. Gagan McGregor-Skinner, Senior Director of the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, GBAC, will talk about the power of GBAC STAR.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the power of GBAC STAR accreditation programs. And I want you to answer a question. Are you cleaning for health? I'm Dr. Gavin McGregor-Skinner. I'm the Senior Director of the Global Biorisk Advisory Council. We call it GBAC. It's a division of ISSA, the World Trade Association for the cleaning industry. I have more than 25 years of experience in dealing with emergency management, infectious disease surveillance, both with working for government and also the private sector. I want you to think about where you are today, the facility that you work in, where you live. Is it a healthy building? Are there happy people? Because we have focused on for many years building indoor spaces, building the built environment to build it healthy. But the challenge that we've had is once we build the building, how do we keep it healthy? And through smart construction practices, material selection operations, that has led us to build it healthy. But more importantly, I'm going to focus on today on how to keep it healthy. And what's really important, as I want to explain to everyone today, is that the GBAC STAR accreditation program, it's not pass or fail. It's a continuous improvement program. And many of the facilities that we work with, airports, hotels, restaurants, convention centers, stadiums, schools, hospitals, long-term care facilities like nursing homes, people that live in apartments, we focus on a process where the GBAC STAR accreditation program is helping every facility with their environmental, social, and governance pledge, their ESG, or meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. And it's really important that we sit down and work on processes, solutions that are sustainable. That GBAC STAR program, yes, it aligns very well with the ESGs and also the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. And again, we can provide resources that individually fit your facility where you work. We can help you meet your goals, both short-term, medium, and long-term goals. But more importantly, as I said, GBAC STAR accreditation is not pass or fail. It's about continuous improvement and ensuring that you get a return on investment. Because what we're dealing with when it comes to germs, bacteria, viruses, mold, fungus, it's an unseen enemy. But also the chemicals we use are unseen. We can't see them. So we really focus on helping you with processes, management, systems on how to make the unseen seen. Because let's not forget, if we focus on the life of a germ, without proper cleaning, we know that viruses, bacteria, fungi, mold, all can exist outside of our bodies on surfaces like plastic, metals, wood, paper, cardboard, cloth, leather, stone, and even glass, not just for hours, but they survive for days to weeks, and in some pathogens, some germs will survive for months. But let me give you a real-world example. So here's an example of a case study of an outbreak of norovirus. It's a disease that causes vomiting and diarrhea. This outbreak occurred at a convention center, an event center in Nebraska in the US in October to November 2017. Now, again, norovirus, it's a common germ that's associated with vomiting, diarrhea. It really spreads very efficiently between people. But what happened here was that in October 2017, an attendee at an event, at a meeting, vomited on the carpeted floor. That carpet was left to dry and was then vacuumed up with a vacuum cleaner. But unfortunately, the vacuum cleaner was never cleaned and the area of the carpet wasn't clean and disinfected properly. And what happened over a short period of time, about 3 weeks, another 9 events occurred and over 153 people became infected with the same norovirus that occurred in the very first event back on October 27. So without proper cleaning and disinfection, where one person vomited and contaminated the carpet in an indoor space, it led to 153 people developing diarrhea and vomiting. And the damage that this does to your reputation all could have been prevented if we've just followed appropriate protocols, procedures, evidence-based, science-based procedures, used the appropriate equipment, and we clean and disinfected the right way on that carpet. And that's what the GBAC Star accreditation program is all about. Continuous improvement to ensuring what you do it well, and you do it based on science and evidence. But let me show you another example. And this is an example of a meeting as a large convention that I just recently attended at a convention center. And you would think that after over nearly 3 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, plus all the other diseases we get, like flu outbreaks, norovirus outbreaks, for example, that people would be doing better when it came to cleaning and disinfecting. And here at this convention center, was this water fountain here. And what can you see on the faucet here with the blue handle? Well, that's lipstick. And that lipstick was there for 3 days. And it really brings us back to, in our facility where we work, whose responsibility is it to clean? Whose responsibility is it to ensure that we're healthy and safe inside our indoor space? Well, it's everyone. And we focus on that everyone has the skill sets, the training, the education to fix what's fixable, to do the easy stuff, to make what we do inside our indoor buildings safer and healthier. Because we focus on 4 dimensions. We focus on the air. We want to have clean and safe air. We want to ensure that the floors, which are the largest horizontal surface in any indoor space, are cleaned properly and safely. We want to ensure the walls and the furniture are cleaned safely and properly, and the way that we clean and disinfect them, we don't damage them or decrease their lifespan. And of course, there's other fixtures like fans, vents, and lights that we focus on. But you've heard a lot, probably over the last few years, about the COVID-19 pandemic and the focus on those surfaces that we touch often. Those surfaces that we touch often are known to spread infectious diseases. So it's really important that we focus on the frequency and how we clean and disinfect those surfaces in a way that anyone, our employees, as well as our patrons, our guests, our customers, come into our indoor space and they know that it's safe. Because we've run a lot of surveys at ISSA and also with the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, but this is a particular survey conducted by the Cleaning and Maintenance Management Group with ISSA, where they did a survey and found that 97% of the respondents had established and will maintain hand sanitizer stations in their facility. 91% will maintain and continue to clean and disinfect. 81% had posted signs or visual cues to promote hand washing or social distancing. And it's so important because good hand hygiene, hand washing with soap and water or a hand sanitizer actually decreases the risk of infectious diseases by 80%. And then we've seen that on this survey here that a lot of facilities have done other things as well. They've installed partitions. They're focused on their temperature screening and scanners, their wellness checks of their staff and their customers, but they're also focusing on their indoor air quality measures. And what has really changed for us now is what gets measured gets done. Let's focus on how health and safety is our air, our water, and our surfaces. Because the big question is for everyone today and tomorrow, are you cleaning for health? We know how to protect ourselves from infection. Those germs, those viruses and bacteria need to get inside our body. So we protect our eyes, nose, and mouth. And we also wash our hands. We know on our phones, and this is an app for my phone where I can have music play for 20 seconds while I wash my hands properly, effectively, and safely. I can also use on my phone a hands timer, which tells me when 20 seconds is up. A lot of us don't wash our hands properly, effectively for 20 seconds, but it's something we all have to try to do. Now, our GBAC Star accreditation program has 20 elements. I'm going to focus on a few of those elements. Element 4, conformity and compliance. We have learned so much, we need to continue to use that new knowledge that we have. What is cleaning? Well, there's a major difference between cleaning for appearance, cleaning for smell, and cleaning for health. Cleaning is that removal of soil, debris, germs, and other substances from the surfaces. Sanitization is just a reduction of bacteria to safe levels. Now, disinfection is where we destroy, kill, eliminate germs such as bacteria and viruses. And we do that by cleaning the surface first. We disinfect with an appropriate disinfectant. We read the label because it's so important for everyone to understand we can't disinfect a dirty surface. And it's also what we've learned as well. When we have disease outbreaks like flu, like SARS-CoV-2 virus, pandemic that causes COVID-19, we wear masks. Why? Because we're protecting our holes, our eyes, our nose, our mouth. We also know that our cleaning of our indoor spaces, whether it be a hotel, a restaurant, a convention center, or an airport, has shifted to focus on identifying hazards and doing risk assessments so that we can become more cost effective. We can meet the sustainable development goals. We can be more responsible citizens by actually doing risk assessments on a regular basis. So let's not forget, what gets measured gets done. And here's an example of a dashboard that is available on a cell phone. It's available on a computer, which actually shows in real time what activities, what's being done inside that facility to ensure that it's healthy and safe. It's really their dashboard for cleaning for health, and something that we help facilities set up in our GBAC Star accreditation program. We've seen many organizations use customer feedback surveys. And here's a real world example from the Gerald Ford International Airport in the US, where they've actually used the traffic light system, red, yellow, green. Are you satisfied with the cleanliness of this restroom today? That information goes to another dashboard. And if so many red buttons are pressed in a certain amount of time, they then deploy a special cleaning and disinfection team. And that's part of their everyday normal operations. The GBAC Star team, through their accreditation program, has helped many airports, as well as convention centers, as well as hotels, as well as restaurants, develop health and hygiene inspection dashboards. And this is to promote and to ensure that we can empower and we can relate information in a very quick period of time to show what's being done and what's not being done and where the risks are. And again, it uses the traffic light system, yellow, green, and red on a dashboard like this so that other decision makers, the employees, also the customers, the users of that indoor space can see areas that have been cleaned and what's being done. And it's really important that we start to visualize the information with good metrics, good measurables, and to ensure that we are always cleaning for health. Another example is the smart restroom app, which again shows cleaning and inspection criteria, as well as how many times the toilet has been used, the urinals have been used, but also the hand basins have been used. So that when we go into clean for health inside these restrooms or bathrooms, we know which areas have been used more than other areas. We're seeing a lot of discussion and a lot more innovation and a lot of solutions come up for indoor air quality. The GBAC Star team actually helps all of our facilities in developing good indoor air quality, sustainable programs. We measure things, we come up with solutions. For example, here's an example of a small, it's like the size of a smoke detector. It's a small indoor air quality measurement device. And again, we know that it's reliable. We know that it's small, it's easy to put into our facilities. And again, it's cost effective. And it provides real-time air quality measurements. And here's an example on this slide of what those measurements are: temperature, humidity, levels of carbon dioxide, volatile compounds or chemicals, the particulate matter at sizes of 2.5 microns to 10 microns. And then it also looks at bioaerosols. So again, a small, cost-effective, affordable device like this can really help you increase and improve your indoor air quality. And here's another example of an indoor air quality dashboard. And again, we're seeing many of our facilities now not just show them behind the scenes, behind the lobby of a hotel, within a restaurant, within an airport, but actually putting them out in the areas where, again, the customers, the clients can see them. Because we're helping facilities now focus on what many governments around the world have created. And here's the example from the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the US government. Back in March of 2022, they launched their Clean Air in Buildings Challenge. And the GBAC team is very, very active in this challenge. We help all of our facilities create a clean indoor air action plan, for example. And for some of our facilities, it's the very first time they've done that. We help them conduct community engagement, communication, education. Here's some of those examples of where various facilities have improved or have implemented different technologies. We help facilities implement those technologies in a way that is, in the real world, it's effective, it's sustainable, and we ensure that it works. We've helped airports like the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport in Texas, here in the US, come up with their Clean, Safe and Ready campaign, where we promoted that we clean the surfaces you touch. And again, you can see the GBAC Star Facility Cleanliness Accreditation logo on this slide. We've created other really important messages for passengers in this airport. It means that the location is committed to the GBAC Clean, and we've explained why they should feel confident, because the airport's doing that little bit of extra work that's more strategic, evidence-based. The Staples Center, for example, was home for the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the National Basketball Association's best teams here in the US, if not one of the best basketball teams in the world. And they would announce before their game, we are GBAC Star Facility accredited. We have met the highest industry standards, and they would put the logo on the Jumbotron at the Staples Center for a Los Angeles Lakers game before the game, and they would tell a message so that everyone felt confident and safe while they watched the basketball game. The Connecticut Convention Center also is another example of being a GBAC Star facility, and that's accredited and promoting messages, again, that install confidence. It's part of their marketing strategy, but more importantly, it just shows that they can and they do clean for health. The Baltimore Washington International Airport in Maryland, the US, again, is a GBAC Star accredited facility. And for the very first time, they are showing everyone, all their passengers, all their employees, anyone who comes into the airport, how they clean surfaces. In Las Vegas, the Las Vegas airport ran a campaign, Red or Black, we're glad you're back, and that they were the proud recipient of the GBAC Star facility accreditation, and that they could demonstrate they were meeting the industry's highest standards. We've seen other organizations run other campaigns. Here's one called Safe, Clean and Fun. For a very large, it was a fairground, as well as a convention center, as well as a stadium. And again, to ensure that everyone cleaned their surfaces, and including the air and the water, was all safe and healthy. But it's just not the GBAC Star. We're not working alone. We work in collaboration with many organizations. And here's a slide from an airport where we've worked very closely with the Airport Council International. And we decided that, again, they have their program, we have our GBAC Star program, but we co-branded to show that this particular airport meets the most stringent protocols for cleaning, disinfection, and infectious disease prevention. Here's another example from the John F. Kennedy International Airport, the JFK Airport in New York City, where they have met the GBAC Staff Facility Accreditation, and they are saying that this airport has been accredited for cleaning and safety practices. We are safety accredited. We've also partnered with other programs such as LEAD, Well, Fitwell, and this is a hotel in Hawaii, which has achieved both LEAD as well as GBAC Staff Facility Accreditation. This is the Barclays Center. It's the home of the New York Knicks, a basketball team in New York City. Again, we were able to collaborate with LEAD and ensure that the facility could maintain their LEAD certification or accreditation, as well as their GBAC Staff Facility Accreditation. This is the US Green Building Council, and in partnership there with the GBAC Staff Facility Accreditation Program, we are raising the standard for cleaning and disinfection in this particular organization. I wanted to show you a very quick 30-second video. It's from an airline, it's American Airlines, and they were the first airline to earn the GBAC Star accreditation for their prevention protocols. They did it for the entire fleet of their aircraft, as well as their Admiral Club lounges in all the airports. Let's have a look at how they talked about validating their clean commitment and what GBAC Star accreditation meant for them. And so it's really important. I want to emphasize that the GBAC Staff Facility Accreditation Program is really helping businesses not just reopen, but stay open. All of us are open now, but ensuring that while we're open, we're safe, we're healthy, we're doing what's evidence-based, science-based, we're cleaning for health, and we're doing it in a way that's sustainable and cost-effective. But when you look at our program, our 20-element program, our very first element is about organizational roles and responsibilities. And here's a Hyatt hotel from India, for example, which has formed a GBAC committee team members. And I want you to look at this slide and look at the number of people that came together with a common goal, cleaning for health. And they made it happen. And they continue to do that even to this day and into the future. Tradeshow Executive, another organization where they've worked with the GBAC Staff Facility Program. And again, they are ensuring that at all of their events, they are promoting that they are met a higher standard when it comes and cleaning and disinfecting their indoor space to make it clean and safe for every user. Here's the website to our GBAC Staff Facility Directory. This is shows just a map of the world and where our GBAC Staff facilities are located. Again, it's about partnerships, it's about teams, it's about doing what's responsible and sustainable. We provide training courses, capacity building courses, we provide education. And here's one example of our courses. It's called the GBAC Fundamentals Online course, focusing on cleaning and disinfection principles. It's available in 8 languages, but if you have a language that you would like us to translate this course or any of the other courses into, just let us know, and that's all doable. We can actually present this in any course any language that's required. And again, I wanted to emphasize, we clean for health. Our mission is to help you protect your employees, raise consumer expectations or meet those consumer expectations. We want to help enlighten your facility, your businesses to achieve its bottom line benefits. We want to provide you the tools, the processes, the protocols that you need to meet your goals in creating a safe and healthy indoor space. So thank you for listening. Please feel free to reach out to us on this QR code here. You can click the QR code. It'll take you to our website. Again, I'm Dr. Gavin McGregor Skinner. You can email us at gbac@issa.com, Our website is listed below that email address on this slide again. We're here to help. This is not about pass or fail. It's about continuous improvement. And the GBAC team helps all facilities, all companies, and governments in how to clean for health. Thank you very much.
Quality food service starts with the best ingredients, passion, hard work, the right specialist, and a solid plan. But a plan is not enough. What about your policy, your mission, or creating a vision? Who is capable of helping you with the best hospitality decisions? A specialist. But a specialist on its own can't know everything, can't be everywhere, can't know all specs, can't have all the time, can't give you all the support you need, can't be all over the world, can't guarantee the best quality, and can't make the best decisions. But our FCSI consultants, together with our network, our knowledge, our connections and our system, they know everything. Our management and design consultants are everywhere. They know all the specs and all the newest innovations. They have all the time. They can give you the support you need. Together, they have all the experiences they need to help you make the best decisions. Together, we know the industry. Together, we can be all over the world and give strong independent advice to fulfill your solid plan and secure your future. FCSI is about products, projects, but most of all, about people. Together we share, we support, we inspire. FCSI.
In the modern workplace, flexibility and versatility in workspaces are becoming more and more important. The need for a private safe haven for work has now become more pressing than before. But is there a cost-effective solution available? Yes. Meet the Extopod. The Extopod is a state-of-the-art privacy pod made out of electro-galvanized powder-coated steel. With effective sound insulation of up to 32 dB, it provides an optimal environment for a wide range of productive activities, while its excellent air ventilation boasts SGS certification, minimizing TVOCs and formaldehyde emissions. Its ease of assembly means it's dynamic and flexible enough to be relocated easily as well. Built-in power points ensure constant electrical supply for your gadgets, while the centralized motion sensor also ensures energy is saved when the booth is vacant. Whether you need a quiet location to work, attend video conferences and meetings, or make private phone calls, the Extopod will provide you with the perfect space to do all of that. Wherever you need the Extopod to travel to, the elegant Extopod will fit in perfectly. Extopod, providing the peace and privacy your company deserves.
Hi! Before we finish, we would like to thank you for joining today. We hope you had been able to connect with fellow industry contacts and discover some of the products that also will be at the FHA HoReCa show in October. Should you have missed any of the sessions or scheduled meetings, you can still revisit them as the FHA Match platform will be open up until October 28. Registrations are still open for FHA HoReCa, so we are looking forward to welcome you to Singapore Expo in just a few weeks' time. Join us to discover all that's new in food service, bakery, pastry and gelato, hospitality style, hospitality technology, specialty coffee and tea. If you are looking to source from any of our leading suppliers, you may qualify for our hosted buyer program. Send us an email to inquire for more information. We will also have an exciting conference program at FHA this year, which is looking at hospitality trends in Asia, innovation, and technology, and will feature some of the industry's most prominent companies. Our thought leaders include representatives from Accor Invest, Horwath, Intercontinental Hotel, Compass Group, Wellbuilt Group, EDG Design, Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, CKP Group, FCSI Worldwide, Fraser's Hospitality, Velocity Ventures, Thai Hotel Association, Indonesia Hotel and Restaurant Association, Hotel and Restaurant Association of the Philippines, Singapore Hotel Association, Colliers International, STR, by HG, Malaysian Association of Hotels, Indonesia Hotel and Restaurant Association, numerous Michelin-starred chefs, and many others. So, if you hadn't registered already, head over to our website so we can see you soon on October 25th. That's all from us for today. Have a great day and bye for now.